Okay, you get to kick us off here. Want to kick us off?
Oh, yeah,
We're live
sorry.
here, so.
Hello, everybody. Real football fans of New Jersey here. Caitlin's just getting us live on the Instagram, trying to get us live on all platforms here for you to hang out with us wherever you choose. We are the Real Football Fans of New Jersey.
There we go.
This is episode 135. Big, not a fan of daylight savings.
Mm-mm.
It's pitch black out. It's downpouring.
It's been getting dark at like 4:50.
It's awful.
And like I'm ready to be done with work. I'm ready to go to bed.
Done with everything.
Like that's how I am at 4:50 nowadays. Like that's my life.
Yeah, so I hope this episode finds you guys right now, even though it's 7:30, in your pajamas with some wine, ready to hang out with us and talk about all things.
Draw a bath tomorrow night and listen to it like on the podcast. Like, you know, live your best
life. Not a bad
life.
option either.
Draw a bath at 4:50 and then go to bed at 5:30. Like that's what I'm doing now with my life.
Sounds pretty nice, not gonna lie. But anyways, we're gonna gab about all the things football and housewives from this past week. We got a lot to talk about as always, but we're gonna kick it off. We got poll questions for you guys, 3 of them that we put on our Instagrams. Got a lot of response here, and actually all 3 were decently close. So question number 1 was, is Baker Mayfield the long-term quarterback answer for the Cleveland Browns? I feel like we've discussed this a lot.
Many times.
We've definitely scrutinized a lot of quarterbacks and kind of analyzed whether teams should move on from them or not. 66% of you guys said no, Baker is not the long-term answer for the Browns. What did you say?
I'm agreeing with, the 68%. I'm going with no too. I think, we did play our game a couple of weeks back where we talk about, what should they do? Should they, reconsider? Should they move on? Kind of just, stay in for the long run. And I understand that maybe let him, work out his contract, but it's just move on in my opinion.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with you on he's not the long-term answer. I would let him play out his rookie contract and then figure things out, especially because they actually have a really good record, and the Browns have a pretty easy schedule. So I think they could potentially make the playoffs or finish with a decent record. So it's not like I think that they're going to get a low draft pick to replace him with another quarterback.
Right.
I don't think there's a lot of quarterback free agents that are really hot commodities coming out in the next free agency. So let him play it out for another season and then move on from him. Question number 2, when they play each other this week, who is more likely to score a rushing touchdown, Cam Newton or Lamar Jackson? Both of these guys can run the ball. 70% of you guys said the former MVP, Mr. Lamar Jackson. I disagreed.
I disagreed
You
too.
disagreed as well.
We talk about this all the time. Like Cam Newton is he's a runner, but he's a selfish runner. You saw a couple weeks ago, he tried to take the game into his own hands and ended up costing the Patriots the game. I don't care if this is going to be a rushing touchdown for the win or a rushing touchdown at the beginning or the middle of the game. He's still going to do it. He's more likely to do it in this scenario, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to keep up with the Ravens. I do expect them to win. And so if they're going to be scoring points offensively, I just feel like they've resulted in just using Cam to run the ball. They feel like it's almost like their safety blanket, whether Cam was in Carolina doing it or whether he's with the New England Patriots now. But regardless, Cam Newton actually midway through the season has 8 rushing touchdowns. That's a lot. That's like more than most starting running backs in the league now. Lamar Jackson has 3 and just a numbers game too. I'm going with the Cam on that.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last question, we're very excited about this. We have been waiting what feels like literally forever. Will you be watching the series premiere of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? It is on tonight at 10 o'clock. Are you watching?
Yes,
I mean, of course we're watching. You know what I mean?
I'm going to race home after this.
Yeah, so it is on at 10 o'clock. So you do have time, for us to get home after this, for you guys to chill out after this.
Have another glass of wine before watching.
But we've waited so long, and I think we're definitely ready and excited. 66% of you, though, said no, you won't be watching.
And we did, surprisingly, I got a DM about, from someone who had voted and noticed that there was a big no response.
Yeah.
And he was a little disappointed. He was like, how is this all no's?
Let's try to chalk it up to maybe it was just our football fans who don't actually watch Housewives but wanted to vote on the poll.
I don't know.
Can we just chalk it up to that? Because I want people to be excited. I'm excited. and I'm looking forward to, talking about it in the future on the show. So
I did have someone say I wasn't planning on it, but now that I saw your post, I might. And we're influencing people out there. So I don't know how much influence we, portray onto you guys, but
I think everybody should give it a shot. So.
I think so as well. So,
all right. Thank you guys so much for answering that and get into our big stories now.
Alrighty. So our big stories of the week for football, we're going to start off with some NFL quick hot topics for y'all. So during the New York Giants and Washington Redskins game on Sunday, quarterback Kyle Allen dislocated his ankle. How it was just a dislocation, I have no idea. Very gruesome again to watch. And again, with the Giants.
A very Alex Smith type injury.
And, we just had to go through it with Dak, and now we're seeing it again with Kyle Allen. So he's out for the remainder of the season. And again, not as bad as we feared the injury would be, thank God. He is going to need a 4-month recovery time, though. Alex Smith is going to continue to start for Washington moving forward. Not Dwayne Haskins. Definitely, I'm not surprised here, but I think some people would say this is an interesting spin on things. But what I'm hearing from the locker room, from the coaches, things like that, they really just need to see Haskins step up more at practice. Apparently he's just not performing to the level that they want to see him. So definitely interesting there down in Washington, having a quarterback come out of the draft.
I just think, I think it's a little disappointing in the fact that I think when you get drafted as a quarterback in the first round, a lot of the time, like it's either a Joe Burrow situation and this is our day one starter, or it's a situation where you might already have a quarterback in place and you want that rookie to sit out that first year and just really take everything in, soak it in, learn all that you can. You don't see it as much in a sophomore season. Absolutely, you know what I mean? So this is kind of like you went with Kyle Allen and then he went down and now you're still not going with Dwayne Haskins. Yeah. It's not like they're not going with Dwayne Haskins and going with somebody who's like not good. Yeah. I'm not going to lie to you. In that Giants game, when we had that huge lead and Washington started coming back, I was like, I wish Kyle Allen was still playing because Alex Smith
is a good quarterback.
He's a really good quarterback, and he's a veteran. So that to me makes sense of why Washington is still going to go with him. But it does start to feel like a waste of a first round draft pick now that this is Dwayne Haskins' sophomore season, midway through his sophomore season, and he's still not necessarily getting that opportunity. So
listen, and it's not like, like Dwayne Haskins, like we've seen you play and like a lot of people just aren't pleased with you around the NFL. Listen, though, you got to be sitting down and having these tough conversations with your agent, though, because people go to Washington to literally ruin their careers and you don't want to be that next person that no matter whether it's an injury, personnel, anything, like you do not want your career ruined because it's a pattern down in Washington and you just don't. So talk to your agent, talk to people around. You need to figure something out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the NFL, this is a biggie here. So people, you got to follow the rules. The NFL has fined the Las Vegas Raiders $500,000 doll hairs and head coach John Gruden $150,000 in addition to taking away a pick. This isn't monetary anymore. They're taking away your picks.
I'd be like, take all the money you want. Yeah. Don't take our picks. I don't even care if it's a 6th round. Like that's a big deal.
They're taking a 6th round draft pick for COVID protocol violations after being repeat offenders. I was hearing a couple weeks back that there was some issues going on in Vegas, and now here you go. They put the hammer down.
Yeah.
And then Pittsburgh was also fined $250,000 along with head coach Mike Tomlin $100,000 for, again, COVID violation. So guys, you gotta follow the rules.
But I think this was a great move. Unfortunately, their hand was pushed to have to make a move like this. But the NFL making this move, and when you told me about it, you saw it first, and I was just like, I hope all 32 teams now are like, you guys, we're not losing. Fine us, but we're not losing draft picks over this.
You're losing draft picks.
It's a very simple concept.
It really is.
So it's not like, to me, I was happy that the NFL made this move because we've seen so many guys get put on that COVID list. I know we're not talking about it tonight, but Ben Roethlisberger is on that list right now. Baker Mayfield's on that list. Like, it's not, it could be anybody. It could be your starting quarterback who could potentially not be playing for you on Sunday because of this. So
you really just got to be a lot smarter. And, this really circles back to before the season, even before this season when, the Raiders announced they were moving to Vegas. I never thought this was a good idea. And who knows where these violations are coming from, but you have a bunch of young men bopping around in Las Vegas. I can only assume it's because these men are going and doing stupid things. So again, it's an assumption there. So maybe I'm, making an ass out of myself and just assuming things, but that might be it. So my long-term thought for Vegas was awful. Like, no, you shouldn't move an NFL team there. So maybe we're going to start to see some more repercussions here because of the move. So,
right.
And then finally, Atlanta has waived former first round defensive end Tack McKinley, 26th overall pick in the 2017 draft, and had 17.5 sacks in 3+ seasons. Voiced his desire to leave Atlanta, especially after they turned down trade deals for him last year and this year. So there you go. You didn't get traded. You did get waived, though. So bye-bye.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You're voicing your desire. You got what you wanted. But at the same time, I just think when you go about things that way, like what team really wants to pick you up? Like you're just going to run your mouth to the media, bad talk your coaches, which he did, and your team. It's just not a good look and not something I would want in my locker room if I was a GM, if I was a head coach. So you might have gotten what you wanted, but be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so now you're just kind of there and that's it.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about week 9 because obviously, like we say, every single week there's always madness that goes down and we always have big blurbs because we're like, got to talk about everything and there's always a lot. But let's start off with the fact that Baltimore, they got a 24-10 win over the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are a pretty good team. They've now scored 20+ points in 31 straight games. That is an NFL record. So that's very impressive. Even more impressive is Minnesota running back Dalvin Cook again went off 200+ scrimmage yards and 2+ touchdowns in 2 straight games. My God, that man is winning your fantasy football league.
All of you that
everybody hates whoever in your league has Dalvin Cook. You are the most hated person in your league.
You literally are. In all 3 of my leagues, I hate all of you.
Honestly, this is going to be like very interesting if they could keep this up, Minnesota, like make a little turnaround of things, especially if Dalvin's just going to take the team and put them on his back like this. The Buffalo Bills continue to look like such a great contender in the AFC and in the NFL in general. They're 7-2.
How much I love the Buffalo Bills.
Yes. They're 7-2 for the first time since 1993. They had an impressive 44-34 win over a very competitive Seattle Seahawks team. So, showing that they could beat playoff caliber teams. Pittsburgh, oh my God, Caitlin and I both picked the Steelers to beat the Cowboys, our lock picks. That was a close one. I was sweating it out a little bit. But they squeaked by Dallas to go 8-0 for the first time in franchise history. This was to me the most shocking game of the week. New Orleans Saints, they stomped out Tampa Bay and Tom Brady 38-3. Brady threw 3 interceptions for the first time in a game since 2011.
He was still getting over Monday night when the Giants should have beat them.
But listen, that's concerning because, you almost lost the Giants. No offense to us and our fandom, one of the worst teams in the league. And then, and then, you hope to, bounce back and have this game against not only a division rival, but you're one of the best teams in the NFC. You're facing another one of the best teams in the NFC.
You have to put up
and you get stomped out 38-3. I mean, it was ugly. What was it? 31-0 at half? It was hideous. It was horrible. I'm not going to say that all 3 interceptions were Brady's fault. One of them came off of Mr. Antonio Brown. He made his debut with Tampa Bay. He had 3 catches for 31 yards.
Our co-host is barking up a storm right now.
On one of those Tom Brady interceptions, they just were not on the same page. It was wasn't running the same route and, got a pick there. But it was definitely a very shocking game. And people have been saying like they're expecting Tampa Bay people who are really liking him have said Super Bowl, and it's just
now
like
it's like pump the
brakes.
But that's what you get. Like, I was getting so angry at people like talking about it. It's the same people that talk about the Browns week after week. Like, Baker Mayfield has a really shitty game, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're back to their old." And then he has a good game, and it's like, "Wow, are they contender?" And
do I think the Buccaneers are good? Yes. Do I think they're a playoff team? Yes. Do I think that they could potentially make moves in the playoffs? They could, but
Super Bowl.
I just want everybody to realize, like, even the best teams in the league right now are still really sketchy. I think this is the sketchiest year.
Yeah.
There is no solid, like, you feel great about anybody right now. You really don't.
Not at all.
And then New England, they barely beat another one, the New York Jets. 30-27. They won on a last-second field goal. The Jets are now 0-9 for the first time.
They did not deserve to win that game. The Jets deserved to win that game 100%.
Yeah.
What was crazy.
You had Mr. Joe Flacco playing. He had a great game for them.
Elite quarterback playing for them. It was funny. So I actually chose, there's certain games that I choose not to watch. I really thought this one was going to be a snooze fest. So I chose to watch a movie on Monday night instead.
Turned into a good game.
The movie ended relatively early, like maybe 9 p.m. So I was like, all right, let's turn on the Monday night game. Lo and behold, the New York Jets are beating the Patriots and beating them by a decent amount. And I was like, oh my God.
I wasn't watching it either, to be honest. And then, like, I finished whatever I was watching, and I looked down at my phone, and there was like a minute something left, and it was 27-27, and I was like, oh my God, I gotta throw this on.
Right? Okay. Like so I ended up watching the rest of it. So,
but yeah, that was week 9, and it was pretty crazy. Again, so many unexpected things that are just happening week to week, and I mean, it certainly makes things exciting, and it kind of what I like, and I always compare it to how I didn't like those years in the NBA where it was so obvious that the Golden State Warriors were going to win year after year after year. What I've always loved about football, and again, I know the Patriots have won a lot, but I do really feel like anybody could win it any year. And I like that it's always like mixed up. So this could be one of those years for sure. You got a lot of names you can throw out there. And again, we're kind of going to discuss that in our game later.
Yeah, no, for sure. Here comes our third co-host who's really slacking, done barking. He's just staring at us from afar. Oh, my cousin's watching us on Instagram. He said whoop whoop because he is a Jets fan. Well, unfortunately, Andrew, you guys still did lose. So let's move into our week 10 picks.
Yes.
There's your co-host. He's sneaking up on. There he is. Yep, you can see it. He's right there.
I see him.
Hey, bud, come here. All right. We're going to fire you again. He really is not that great of a co-host. So he's actually going back into the family room. So good riddance, Tuck. We'll see you later.
See you, buddy.
So getting into our week 10 picks, we will give you our picks for the week along with our lock and our upset. So why don't you go ahead and
all right. And there he was barking again. This week in week 10, I am going with the Titans, the Eagles, the Packers, Washington, the Browns, Tampa Bay, Miami, Las Vegas, Buffalo, New Orleans, Seattle, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Minnesota. My lock is the Packers over the Jacksonville Jaguars. And my upset is the Minnesota Vikings over the Chicago Bears. However, in parentheses, I did say that I also picked the Washington football team to beat Detroit. I'm just not calling it my upset.
Okay. So I did pick it off another website, so we are a little bit out of order. So I'm sorry, NFL.com. I don't know why you can't print the schedule. I'm complaining to you. I don't know why we can't print the schedule anymore. You're really bothering me. So my picks for the week are the Tennessee Titans, Carolina, Houston, Detroit, Green Bay, New York Giants, Miami, Buffalo, the Las Vegas Raiders, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Seattle, Baltimore, and the Chicago Bears. My lock is the New Orleans Saints over the San Francisco 49ers. Just, given injury.
Fair.
And my upset, which is a pretty big upset, is the Cincinnati Bengals over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have to lose once this season. I don't think they're going 16-0. And I think Mr. Joe Burrow and the Bengals will hand over their first L to them.
I actually really like this upset pick, and I'm not going to lie, I toyed with it a little bit too, just because of it, again, a numbers game of the same reason why I recently picked the Ravens to hand the Steelers their first loss. I'm like, they got to lose somewhere. This is a division game. I really do feel like Cincinnati's been in every game they played. And with Ben in COVID, on the COVID list and being unsure.
He might not play.
But even if he does play and not being able to have a normal routine of practice and everything like that, I like this upset pick, and I hope it works out.
I'm pretty confident with my pick. I did like the argument I heard on Get Up this morning, though, because they were talking about it. If Big Ben doesn't play, what's the scenario of Cincinnati upsetting them? And the argument was basically like, listen, you pull one person out of the equation on the Steelers, and they're still a very solid offense and defense. So, and then you look at the Bengals, and right now Joe Burrow is pretty much their center of excellence. And he's really driving that team forward. Do they have other weapons? Absolutely. But the Steelers have weapons everywhere.
Listen, Mason Rudolph would be coming in, and it's not like he doesn't have experience starting football games. So
not at all. So definitely an interesting week. But again, I've been loving the games week after week. While it's been a sketchy season for some teams, I think we've been, delivered some phenomenal football.
Really good games. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to get back to football with our game later on, but
don't miss it.
Talk about the big stories of the week in the world of housewives. This one I'm pretty excited about. I didn't think news like this would break so soon. I'm kind of happy about it, but I wasn't expecting it. So we are talking about the fact that Teresa Giudice officially has a new boyfriend.
She's got a man.
So on Monday, news broke.
A year of getting a boyfriend.
On Monday, in the year of COVID, nonetheless. On Monday, news broke, and a source confirmed to People that Teresa is dating businessman Louis Relas. I can't say his last name. She then confirmed the news herself on Facebook with a link to an article about it and saying she was very excited to reveal her new boyfriend. So she did confirm it herself. It is not just Page Six BS. Louis is the co-founder of an ad tech company, and he launched his first business at age 19. He is the father of 2 and spends a lot of time advocating for children with autism, which his son has. Kind of curious how old his kids are. I didn't find that information. And he also, obviously lives in New Jersey. The relationship comes 2 months after Teresa and Joe finalized their divorce. Last month, Joe actually revealed that he was casually dating someone as well in Italy. They both expressed openly that they hope both of them find somebody else. They live in different countries and they want each other to be happy. And I believe that is genuine. And speaking of, Gia and Melania are actually in Italy right now visiting Joe. They always post a lot of social media content, all of them, Joe included. And it's nice to see them reunited. And I love seeing all the Instagram stories in Italy. It looks beautiful. And it's nice that they have the opportunity that,
I'm a little concerned that they're going to Italy.
Yeah. Right. Actually, that's a great question. Because I thought we weren't allowed to go to Europe right now.
So I think we're now allowed to travel. I think it's at your own risk. And obviously the protocols, when you go somewhere, you probably have to quarantine and coming back. I feel like you don't really think about it when it's
I actually really didn't. I'm shocked that I didn't think about that.
But I was just more concerned because the village, or the area that Joe lives in is we saw his videos. They were completely locked down. He wasn't leaving his house.
I think the other thing I'm concerned about is Joe is also with a lot of family, and a lot of them are older, and that's another thing to worry about as well.
Coming over,
I can't believe I didn't think of that.
And Gia's at school too,
right?
I don't know.
She's going to come
doing remote
both of them
learning
when they come home and exactly, we don't know if they're remote learning, but I would think if you're going to come back, I mean, if my kid went to school with them, right, and they came back from Italy, I'd be you need to get tested and stay away from my kid for 2 weeks.
Yeah, maybe they are doing the remote learning then, because what are they just not going to school right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very circumstantial thing that we don't have the details on, but you're absolutely right. That is, I didn't even think about that, but. With Teresa's boyfriend, there are pictures of him out.
I saw the picture of them at the football game or
his hand around near a booty.
You love that, the little hand in the pocket.
I told Caitlin though, when I saw pictures of him and everything, I was I kind of wish she had just hit it off with the pool guy, because I thought the pool guy was so cute.
He was.
I don't
young
think
for her though.
I thought they were like the same age.
No,
she said they went to high school together.
Oh, he looked a lot younger in my opinion.
No, yeah, I mean, I think he just kept in good shape, but no, they went to high school together and they had like history. I thought they would be so cute. This guy, I got to see more pictures of him. There's only one picture that's really like hit the internet.
It's not a great
and
picture.
it doesn't seem flattering. He might be good looking, but it wasn't a great photo.
Well, maybe now she'll post about him.
Yeah, I want, like, now that she's confirmed it, like, start posting content, girl. We want to see it. We are here for it.
We're here for the content and your relationship. We'd like to see it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. And honestly, like, I know we've been complaining about the fact that, like, New Jersey, like, when are we going to get any news on when is that starting? It feels like they've been filming forever. Now I low-key kind of hope that they're still filming right now. That way we can get this storyline in there, right?
Absolutely. So more housewives. So in honor of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City premiere tonight, we're giving you their taglines. So we always love giving you guys taglines. So we will give you the brand new ones, and we'll give you a little bit of a hint at who these women are.
Right. I mean, it's hard to know how these fit with the women, but I just feel like it's giving us itty bitty. It's going to be like
hard for me to like.
It's giving us little pieces to the puzzle of who they might be, or speculate who they might be.
All right, we ready?
Yes.
So Miss Jen Shaw. In this town, I'm Queen Bee and MVP.
I mean, that's very basic. That could be like for anybody, honestly. So
are you back? You're soaking wet now. Tucker was outside in the pouring rain. I'm happy you decided to go to the bathroom. He's been contemplating peeing for probably the last 2 hours because he's not a big rain guy. So here he comes. Oh no, there he goes.
There he goes.
Good night, buddy. Bud. All right, Lisa Barlow. When you take cheap shots, always expect a hangover.
I kind of like that one. I kind of like that.
I would have made a comment of like throwing up though.
I feel like it would have been like, that's a line you'd see on a meme or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Whitney Rose. This Rose isn't scared to handle a little prick.
Honestly, I just got it now that her last name is Rose.
Yeah.
But when I read this one, I was cracking up to myself for, reasons.
I like when they put like subtle like curses in there too, because like it's obviously like a Bravo. They can't like say certain things, but that was a good one.
Well, why did they do that? Because I can't think of it any other way than her handling a little prick. Like, I don't know. But
all right, I hate this one because it's literally a saying. But Meredith Marks, jealousy is a disease, to which I say, get well soon.
Is that a line?
It is. Jealousy is a disease. Get well soon, bitch. That's literally a saying.
Well, then, Bravo creative team, like, you need us. You
like,
need us.
Bravo?
Did you watch us last week, Bravo? Because with our NFL
good.
taglines, you need us.
Literally, I think it's either like jealousy is a sickness, like get well soon, bitch. Like that's like something that was on my MySpace profile in 2009. Like circa, no, sorry, I graduated high school.
I was gonna say 2009. Yeah, it was like 2005.
Yeah, like that was literally on my like AIM profile
I like it
too. Like Bravo, like you need to get it together.
Step your game up.
Mary Cosby. I love God, but I will read you like a scripture. I don't get it.
I don't get. I mean, you're more religious than I am.
I am, and there are scriptures.
I guess I feel like I'm missing it.
I don't really get it either. All right.
Okay.
Heather Gay. Just like my pioneer ancestors, I'm trying to blaze a new trail. Not bad.
It's all right.
No. So here's what I didn't like about it. So I just read you guys these. And they're great because I'm great at reading them. When I first saw the video, so the video came out like a week ago, but we wanted to
I haven't actually watched them say
we did want to wait until tonight to share them with you. I just think so, like when I sent them to you, I said like I was not really pleased. I think it's because it is a new franchise. Like you really got to hype us up for this. I think the trailers have been great. We're getting a lot of intel, but come on, the taglines are like literally that lifeline of the show.
If I'll play devil's advocate and throw Bravo a bone here,
I ain't throwing
it kind of is hard, I guess, when you don't have seasons where, you watch these women and they almost kind of come up with taglines and mottos and slogans themselves. They have all those one-liners, like the lower level and not well-be. And like, you know what I mean? These women have seasons worth of identities and catchphrases that you can play off of. And even though they've obviously filmed these women and seen the content, they don't know what's going to stick with audiences. They don't know what audiences are going to love or which moments are going to stand out to us and what lines we're all going to be repeating a couple of months from now. So it is difficult, but
I just like,
I still don't feel like the creativity is there.
Like out of all of them, only one made us laugh pretty hard. Like, come on.
And not in the way that I think they like wanted us to. I don't know.
No.
Oh God. Well, I'm still very excited, honestly.
This Rose isn't scared to handle a little prick.
Maybe like later on, once we've gotten the full season, we need to like revisit this and give them our own taglines.
My accent was also the whole time was very Poison Ivy-esque, which makes sense because I was Poison Ivy for Halloween and absolutely killed it. But totally Uma Thurman accent from Batman when she was Poison Ivy. So I don't know why I took that route, but it just kind of came out. It just came out naturally. It was like
you just went with it.
Yeah, I just went with it.
All right, well, let's get into our game of the night. We played this once before. I mean, we've played it in the past, probably every year. It is called Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs? Yes, we are talking about playoffs because just like we did before the season started, we are giving our midway playoff predictions. I can't believe we're already over the hump here.
No, I don't know how.
It's very interesting. I know I wrote down who I picked before the season started.
I don't remember, so
that's okay. But like, it's a good reference because every year you just have teams that you weren't expecting to, excel.
One of them I do still have in my.
Okay.
Yeah, I do remember
that. Basically, we're going to be giving you our division winners. That we are going to be giving you our 3 wildcard teams for the AFC, our 3 wildcard teams for the NFC, our AFC championship matchup, our NFC championship matchup, our Super Bowl matchup, and our Super Bowl winner. So,
and obviously we don't know what people are going to be ranked and everything. So this is just kind of
of course.
So you could have 2 teams that we picked and they could never play each other. Right.
There's no possible shot of them facing each other.
This is a magical world for us here. So
bear
with us.
All right. Well, let's start with our division winners. I think some of these changed up for me. Not too crazy.
I literally am. Nothing is surprising on mine, to be honest.
Yeah, it's kind of, we'll see. So the AFC East, who did you go with?
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills.
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. It's who we both went with before the season started. But of course, I think I know me, especially before the season, I thought that it would be a really tight race between them and New England. And I thought the Bills would edge them out. And now it's Miami. Yeah.
Hot take on Get Up this morning. I'm blanking on the guy's name. He picked Miami to win the division, and I was like, oof. It could happen.
It could totally happen. I mean, Buffalo's got a 2-game lead though, and they're looking pretty strong. I don't know what the rest of their schedules look like, but I still feel good about the Bills. All right, the AFC North.
I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm going with the Steelers as well. I picked the Ravens before the season. You probably picked the Ravens as well. We all probably did. I don't think anybody expected. I think I picked the Steelers.
Good.
Wait, I have it. Yes, I predicted that the Steelers would make the playoffs, but I really thought they were going to be like an 8-8, 9-7 team, kind of getting that last wild card spot. Nobody thought this. So, all right, the AFC South.
So I'm going with the Tennessee Titans, and I know the Colts are very close behind, and they do play each other this weekend, which I do go with the Titans.
They still have to play each other twice. So
I think, and that's what kind of swayed me a little bit. I think the Colts have a little bit more of a difficult schedule for the remainder of the season. They have to go up against the Steelers. They're going up against the Titans twice. I think they're playing the Chiefs. Like it's a little bit more aggressive. I think the latter half of their season. So I am just going to give this one up to the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had the same thought process as you did. I put the Titans, but I had to go back and forth and kind of look at the schedules because I was very close to putting the Colts, which is who I picked before the season started. But I'm going to
very much happen,
but I'm going to give that slight edge to the Titans. Okay, the AFC West, definitely an easier one.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes, it's definitely who we both picked before the season. It's who we're both picking now. Let's move over to the NFC, probably one of the most interesting divisions to pick. Our own division, the NFC East. Who are you going with?
I'm praying for the love of God that my boyfriend's not listening right now, but I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles.
This was the only division where I literally pulled up the schedule, not for one team, two teams, all 4 teams. I had to look at it because technically anybody could still win it, which is really pathetic. So I did pick the Cowboys before the season started. I am now changing my answer. And I want to let you know that I went game by game for a record. I'm going the Eagles to win it with a 7-7-1 record.
Oh God, it's just embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's ugly, but genuinely that was like really looking at it and trying to be as fair as possible. All right, the NFC North.
Going with the Green Bay Packers, and I did not pick them to win. I picked the Vikings, I think. And here we are all getting disappointed by that.
Yeah.
So.
I picked the Packers before the season. I'm not switching things up. I'm sticking with them. They're definitely one of the more
I've been
solid
finding,
teams right
a
now.
lot of the teams that are in first place right now. I
feel
confident that it's the wild card teams I think are going to make things very interesting this year. So, and I love the three. I actually
really like that you said that, because when I was doing this yesterday and thinking about it, I said, wow, the division winners are all solid. Yeah. And then the wild card teams are let me say this again. The wild card teams, I felt good about one team on each side. And then the other two on both sides, I was like, these aren't that great of teams.
But it makes sense for you to put them in the spot. It's like, that's like
because there was not
but
it felt like there's nobody good left to choose from. Who do I give these spots to?
It was more so in the NFC, which is such an, I mentioned this on the one of our last shows, I just got to hand it over to the AFC. I think the whole preseason, we were like, all right, the AFC is kind of sketchy this year and they suck. They've come out and they've blown me away.
But honestly, I just think this is a year of football where there's genuinely not many good teams. I really feel that way.
I think a lot of teams are just flippy floppy, and that's just not okay.
So I only feel there's maybe I could count on one hand how many solid teams you feel good about.
And it might not have been teams you expected before the season started.
Yeah.
So.
All right, the NFC South, I know people probably going back and forth between the Saints and the Bucks, maybe more so before what we just saw when they played each other. But who are you going with?
I'm going with the Saints, but again, they're a team that's very flippy, wishy-washy this season, in my opinion. So, but I'm still going to pick the Saints. So.
I went with we probably both went the Saints before the season. And I had to pull up their schedule and the Buccaneers schedule. And I actually wrote down that I think they're going to have matching records with Tampa Bay. But the fact that they beat them twice will give them the edge. Yeah. So I am going with the Saints. Mm-hmm. And then last but not least, the NFC West, I would say the strongest division of the bunch. Who are you going with?
I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks.
I'm sticking with the Seahawks as well. All right. Wild card time. I think this is really where it gets interesting. And I would not be surprised if you and I totally had mix and match here. All right. AFC, who are your three teams?
My three picks in no particular order are the Miami Dolphins, the Baltimore Ravens, and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay. Two of your three. I have Baltimore Ravens. I feel like that's the one I was just describing I felt good about. And then I felt the other two were these are playoff teams, really? But, you got to give a little bit of credit. But I went with Miami, too.
I know.
And then I gave that slight edge because we were just talking about them before potentially winning their division still with the Colts.
Okay, yes.
Just finishing behind the Titans.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I can't believe it. Before the season, I had the Patriots because I said I can't imagine a playoffs without the Patriots. We both don't have them in there. I had the Steelers. And I think we both had the Broncos because we really felt like that was the dark horse.
We were high on Jerry Jeudy. We were high on Drew Lock, Noah Fant. And listen, I
still think that team.
There's blood there. There's life there.
Can happen.
It can happen.
Okay. NFC side. Who do we have?
I have the Buccaneers, and then I am wrapping up the NFC West with three teams going in with the Cardinals and the Rams.
We have the same.
Yeah.
We have the same. So before the season started, obviously I had the 49ers.
Yep.
I'm sure we all did.
Yep.
I did have the Buccaneers and I did have the Vikings. So I didn't have them as the division winner, but I did believe that they were definitely a playoff team. So things really shook up here. And honestly, my husband said everybody from the NFC West was going to go. And lo and behold, nobody would have thought that the 49ers would be the one odd man out. Yeah. But I do believe that we are going to see three teams from the NFC West. Okay. Our conference championship matchups. Who do you have playing in the AFC championship game?
I have the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Buffalo Bills. And that was my pick the first time around.
I really like that pick, and honestly, it was something I considered as well. But I am going with the Kansas City Chiefs. versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It feels hard to not include the Steelers in this because of the way they're playing, barring any crazy injuries.
I had to back away from them at some point.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I did have the Chiefs versus the Ravens in my preseason pick. All right, NFC Championship game. Who do you got?
I have the Packers versus the Seahawks.
I have the same matchup, switched up a bit. I did originally have the Saints versus the Seahawks during preseason. But yeah, I agree with you. These are two strong teams in the NFC, and I think it would make for a really good NFC Championship game. All right, Super Bowl matchup. Who are we going with?
My Super Bowl matchup is the Buffalo Bills versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Wow. I can't wait to hear who your winner is. But I will tell you my Super Bowl matchup first. I had originally had the Chiefs versus the Seahawks. I am sticking with the Chiefs versus Seahawks.
Okay.
Not switching up on that.
All right.
Feel still good about that. And then your Super Bowl winner between the Chiefs and the Bills, right? Is the Buffalo Bills.
The Buffalo Bills.
You heard it here first, people.
My Super Bowl
She's going to redeem herself from 2
years
ago on this show.
Bills. I'll bring it up every freaking episode. I am, yes, your Super Bowl champions for the 2021 season are the Buffalo Bills.
That'll wrap funny, right?
It really would. It really would, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it. And honestly, I'm almost with you in taking the Bills. I could definitely see them making it to at least the AFC Championship game, although I didn't pick that. It was definitely on my mind for consideration. My matchup, the Chiefs versus the Seahawks, which was my original pick. I'm sticking with my original winner, and I still feel like the team I can trust the most in the NFL right now is the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's fair.
And I do want to make a note. I did take the Seahawks all the way to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I have said throughout this whole season, as much as they've been impressive, defense wins championships. And I could see this Super Bowl game happening and the Chiefs putting up a record amount of Super Bowl points against that defense.
Listen, I heard an argument recently that the Rams will win that division because the Seahawks don't have a defense. And it's a very hot
really
take.
Bad defense.
It's not good. They want to fire the defensive coordinator. I've seen like petitions already. And I'm like, well, listen, like the season's going well.
If Buffalo is going to score 44 points in the Seahawks, that's why I'm saying I really think that if they met the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, I don't know what the most amount of points scored by an offense is in a Super Bowl game, but the Chiefs could potentially get that record. Yeah. So, all right. That was a good game.
It was.
I feel like we will blink and the playoffs will be here.
Yeah.
But we had to get in those picks.
I'll be sure to save this sheet now. So
absolutely. You got to post that out there. Shout out to the
I will.
rooftops.
Make sure you send it to me. I'll post.
What are our comments here? What are our comments? I can't read that far.
Oh, I can't.
So tiny.
I literally I'll never hear the end if Buffalo wins. This is from my cousin. So my cousins, I have the other Browers. So
they're
I
not
have
Giants fans.
None of them are Giants fans. No, Jason's a Giants fan.
Okay.
So I have three boy cousins that are Browers alongside our Browerness. So Jason, Andrew, and JD. Andrew, unfortunately, is a Jets fan. We have no idea why. And JD is actually a Buffalo Bills fan.
That makes at least Jets okay, there's Jets fans in our area. The Buffalo thing is weird.
Yeah, so now he's laughing. And then my cousin Jason is the smartest one out of all of them because he is a Giant.
True Brower, baby. That's a true Brower. True Brower right there.
So funny. So that he said that he'll never hear the end of it. So you're right. You will never hear the end of it, Andrew, that the Buffalo Bills win. So
yeah.
All right. It is that time of the night where we get it off our chest. Positive, negative, housewives, football, wine, life, anything. I believe you were prepped for tonight on this one. I was not because I couldn't think of anything.
Yes,
but I'm going to join you.
Yeah, we're going to take this one together.
We're going to do a joint one.
Always love when Instagram reminds me of what I was doing a year ago. Although it is a little bit depressing because COVID, we haven't been able to do much. So it's kind of like you want to go back and live that 2019 life. But
you also look at pictures of you in crowds and it kind of makes you quiver a little bit.
Yeah, around those months of February and March and everything like that. But
I used to be around 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Gross.
But speaking of, so coming up on Monday is the 1-year anniversary of Bravo's very first BravoCon and us attending that BravoCon. And honestly, I can say, and listen, people, I got married in 2019, but that was one of the best days of my entire year. It really was.
Heard it here, Frank. Like, BravoCon was better than your wedding.
I can honestly
Write
say,
it down.
and I can honestly say in the, almost 30-year existence of our friendship, that was probably one of the best times we ever had together.
Oh, absolutely.
Like it's the tippy top of the list in my opinion.
You hear like the phrase like living your best life. Like Katie and I literally lived our best life.
It didn't feel real. It felt like a dream. It honestly did. It got
was like
to
an
meet,
amusement park for old people.
Who did we get? We got to meet. So from Below Deck, we got to meet Captain Lee. We got to meet Kate. We got to meet Chef Ben. I got to ask Andy and his panel a question.
We met Captain Sandy.
Dorinda shouted you out through the window for dressing up like her. We met Captain
like
Sandy.
Her.
Who else did we met Jennifer from New Jersey.
Brawwin.
Oh my God. It was a wild day. We honestly might have met
Luann.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That was like, I can't even believe I'm just
like what?
Sorry.
The best part of the night.
Like literally no, but the way we met Luann of just like slowly walking by and her literally shouting us out to like come over and take pictures.
And I think like I was like
you were frozen
walking away though, and you were like, no, like Caitlin, like
she's calling us like
no,
us.
No, she's not. No, like, stop.
It was honestly, and not even just obviously the Bravo Lebs we met, but I think diehard Bravo fans are okay. The best way I can describe to you hardcore Bravo fans like ourselves is when you're a girl and you're drunk and you go to the bathroom and the girls are just all really nice to each other. That's what BravoCon was. Like it was a love fest.
It was, yeah.
Like everybody was just so thrilled and on cloud nine to be there that everybody was just loving each other.
Like you go to like sporting events and everyone like hates each other. Like, and it's like you could be like you could hate your own team,
or you lose and everybody's miserable.
Yeah,
no,
like
this
the
was
amount of like Giants fans I yell at like at MetLife is probably more than I yell at the opposing fans for, because like they're annoying. You yell at each other at sporting events.
Yeah.
This though was a unique. Everyone loved each other. There was so much love in the air.
Yeah. Honestly, like we were drunk, but we were also drunk on happiness.
I think before we even were really into the alcohol, we were drunk on happiness.
Yeah.
Because there was a point where we clearly got way too drunk.
Yes.
But like, we got to our point, but like it was even before that. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was just like every corner we turned, there was just oh my God, it was just amazing.
So basically, bottom line is obviously, there was no BravoCon this year. COVID makes sense. Definitely would have been safe. There were hundreds and hundreds of people at that event in the city where it's not, a great place to be. But we're obviously hoping for, everything to get better in general, but to hopefully maybe have a BravoCon in maybe fall of 2021. I'd like to hope and think that things will be better.
Yeah.
But basically, I would expect them to do it again. And for anybody that's questioning it, I know it's a little bit pricey. I would say go for it. It's worth every cent.
It'll probably be cheaper the second time around. It was the first time they were doing the event. So like, you don't understand what they were probably doing pricing wise, things like that. They realized it sold out super quickly. So they're going to definitely revamp a lot of stuff the second time around.
But I would say like for me personally, I'm somebody who likes to spend money on experiences, vacations, concerts, whatever. If you're like that, like I'm telling you, this is what you should spend your money on 100%. Because it was probably better than advertised. And it was their first one.
I know.
So they were literally just like kind of figuring things out.
Too. Like, did we meet so many people because it was like the first time? Like, think about this first softball game we went to for the Giants. Like, they were so accessible. And yes, they were accessible the second time around too, because we made
we know our ways.
We know our ways. Like, I fear in like 5-10 years, is that going to be the same way? Probably not.
I don't know, but I feel as though the second one can only get better because we've anticipated it, waited for it, right? And they also have one under their belt.
And we have Luann on speed dial. So.
Yeah, like if she sees us again, she's just going to be like,
we just have to,
those are my girls. Those are my girls. Come over here.
One up it.
Those are my girls.
Time. So if you guys have any ideas of what we should be the second time, let us know.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to top it.
I'll up my game. Mine was okay. Katie's
but I also worry because we thought everybody was going to dress up. When we
I don't care.
I'm worried that
more people are going to dress up.
That we set that and people saw all the attention we got.
We had to up our game.
We might have peaked at the first BravoCon.
We did. We really did. We're gonna go back and like hate it.
We did.
Like, the worst. Like,
we peaked.
But I think the next
we were the
time
stars
around,
of
like,
BravoCon.
we gotta do. I think we'll just do like the whole weekend next.
Oh, we
time.
did say that. We were gonna go to the Russian bathhouse.
So
and
we had to just.
Yeah.
We'll be in New York City the entire weekend, so we can Uber, we can take cabs. We'll be
Yeah.
okay. Like we just, if it's in New York City, but we can travel. I'll travel to it.
Yeah.
I don't care where they put it. Salt Lake City, we're coming.
Let's do it. Oh, that would be fun. I'd like that.
We're coming.
All right. Well, that was our get it off our chest. So that is the end of our show. But of course, we've been talking about it throughout. Do not miss. We have a doubleheader on Housewives tonight. We have Real Housewives of Orange County on tonight at 9:00. We have Real Housewives of Salt Lake City series premiere. We are starting a new franchise, people. Let's do it together. Let's start it together. It is on tonight.
Let's do it together.
It is on tonight at 10:00. Real Housewives of Potomac on Sunday at 8. Thursday night football. We do have that close matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans.
Looking forward.
Sunday night football, Baltimore at New England, and Monday night football. We do have a division matchup. The Minnesota Vikings at the Chicago Bears.
Good primetime games. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hope you have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Let you know how we feel about Salt Lake City.
Absolutely.
Cheers.